Hello, Gillian Topa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. This is the program Inside the Print Media. My name is Kate Linden Toba. For those of you who are following us now, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, based upon your geographical location. This is the most informative news program where we highlight stories from the print media to get you informed about what is taking place in Liberia. So this morning we have three newspapers in our possession. We have the Daily Observer newspaper, we have the Front Page Africa newspaper. Lastly, we have the New Dawn newspaper. So let's go over to the Daily Observer newspaper. The first headline say, Senators convene in Buchanan to chart new course. Senate retreat to develop a good governance roadmap. Senators convene in Buchanan to chart new course. Senate retreats to develop a good governance roadmap. Let's give you the content of this particular development. The Liberian Senate is convening in the Port of Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, for a full-day retreat to strategize and chart a new course for the Senate activity. It's a significant gathering that comes 6 months since the beginning of the 55th legislature. The retreat, according to the office of the pro tempore, Madam Yomli Kanga Lawrence, aims to address the disconnect between legislator and constituent, which has been noted as a factor contributing to the low turnover rate in recent elections. It is no secret that parliaments the world over play a critical role not only in the democratization, but the governance and development of states and the people. This means that there is always a compelling need for legislature to be connected to the people. However, this is easier said than done, especially in the third world or underdeveloped countries. Efforts by lawmakers in countries like Liberia, in which the poverty rate, illiteracy, and underdevelopment to stay and remain connected are confronted with a plethora of challenges that blow the chances of sustained legislative constituents connectivities. The avalanche of challenge triggers a disconnect between the elected and the electeds. This disconnect eventually leads to a low turnover rate. Except for most Rider County, where elected largely vote for issues for issues-based contesting. The rest of the county largely opt for contestants who deliver tangibles. This was evident in the last elections as of the 15th seat declared vacant in the Senate during the 2023 legislative election. 11 sitting senators, 73.3%, did not return to the Senate, while a mere full representing 26.4% returned. Some pundits place this dismal turnover rate squarely on the level of disconnect between the legislators and their constituents. It is, it is predicated upon this and other reasons that the Liberian Senate, on the 55th legislature, is endeavoring to produce a compelling roadmap agenda. Its tender souls told the Daily Observer. We have decided that a 4-day retreat to kickstart this historic visioning process, he said. During the conference, Senate members will focus on reviewing and amending the rule of law, reviewing their financial management systems and policy, reviewing the Senate reform agenda, security measures and national compliance policies, as well as decentralizations and modernizations. The President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Madam Dumbly Kanga Lawrence, has said on many occasions that her top priority is to see a reformed Senate that will truly reflect the interests of the country and its citizens. The President pro tempore is committed to ensuring transparency and accountability by directing the General Auditing Commission to do a comprehensive review of the Senate financial system and establish a robust operating system, including financial and administrative measures. This framework will enable regular audits and enhance our oversight responsibilities. Since 2014, I have advocated for good governance and adequate oversight of government expenditure, emphasizing the national budget as a tool for reform and transformation, she said when she ordered the GSC a few days ago to carry out the audit. In 2016, I proposed that all of the ministries and agencies and commissions submit their annual budget with the programs to ensure transparency and better oversight. Despite challenges in the logistic, human capacity, and technology, I remain committed to achieving our administration vision through this agenda roadmap. The retreat backgrounds. Speakers, speaking of voters' quest for tangible development are crucial to elect their leaders, and since a single lawmaker may not be financially balanced enough to single-handedly address the development priorities of a given county or district, strategy must be developed. As such, a joint Senate House collaboration on the revitalization of the county development fund is required. Those craving an effective decision-making mechanism decision that will be geared towards positively impacting the lives and well-being of the electors. This effective decision-making goals must decisively focus on increasing the revenue envelope of nations. The increment in revenue could lead to the effective functioning of hospitals and other medical centers, enhance the educational sector, cultivate self-feeding agriculture effectiveness, sufficient presence of security personnel across the country, salary increment for teachers, doctors, health workers, etc. Vastly improve water and sanitation service, youth development, among others. To achieve all of this, the 55th legislature, the Senate, will have to make program-based budgeting a priority for counties. The General Auditing Commission will do a financial reform management report. Vital also for the discussion at the retreat will be the county development plan and revenue enhancement, as well as the topical issues of value-added tax for the spotlight. Compliance will be critically dissected during the deliberation. Also to be critically analyzed is the resource extraction model, how the country's portion of the resource extraction is resolved and how it is regulated. The deliberation aspect of the retreat will be presented to review committees and institutions under each committee for oversight for check making, potential interferences, and observations. The working document will be prepared for references or guidance as the Senate continues its work thereafter. Senate and other participants arrived in Buchanan City on Thursday, June 6th, and are expected to depart on Sunday, June 9th. Participants are expected to engage in constructive dialogue and collaborative efforts to enhance the Senate's effectiveness in serving the interests of the Liberian people. The retreat signifies a commitment to improving legislative governance and connecting with constituents for the overall development and well-being of the nations. With this being said, this is how we transition over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. House investigate fingering of 2024 budget document. House investigate fingering of 2024 budget document. Wow. Lawmakers demand recall of national budget to address discrepancy. So whenever you hear about the word discrepancy, it is also connected to the word malpractices. So the House of Representatives currently investigating an alleged fingering of the 2024 budget document. So let's give you this particular content. The House of Representatives has launched an investigation into alleged temporary or altercation of its recommendation attached to the passage of the 2024 budget in Liberia. Both the Senate and the House of Representatives unanimously passed the 2024 budget in the tune of 738,859,226.27 with a caveat to pay the government ministry agencies, state-owned enterprises, and corporations to fully execute plans and programs funded under the budget for the benefit of the nation and its people, along with the caveat where a series of recommendations, one of which is said to have been altered. Concerns were raised regarding the specific recommendation that did not reflect the intended changes in the final printed version of the budget. Members of the House of Representatives unanimously voted Thursday, June 6, mandating the leadership to investigate the change of its decision, which stated where all in the 2024 national budget were written LPBO, Legislative Budget Office, it should be automatically placed by the PAC, Public Accounting Committee, but unfortunately, the printed copy of the approved budget and the recommendations still carry the Legislative Budget Office. Margibi County District 5 Representative Clarence Gia, who is also the chairman of the House Public Account and Expenditure Committee, raised the issues, emphasizing the importance of upholding integrity and transparency of legislative decision. Representative Gial letter of complaint to Councillor J. Fanatikova said that the House decision was altered during the final stage and signing of the 2024 national budget, those making the 2024 national budget votable in its entirety. Representative Gial said in his communication, Mr. Presiding, Deputy Presiding, distinguished colleague, it will surprise you to note that at the final stage in signing of the 2024 national budget, the law was sent without this amendment of plenary altering the decisions of the Honorable House of Representatives, those making the 2024 national budget votable in its entirety. Distinguished colleague, if decisions are not taken now as a way of setting precedent, I fear that many laws have been or could be tampered with in the future, as it has the propensity to dismelt and damage the image and integrity of the Honorable House of Representatives, Gia said. He asked for a record of the 2024 national budget to address the discrepancy and ensure accurate representation of the House decision. Representative Gia stressed, distinguished colleague, I crave your indulgence to recall the 2024 national budget in the best interest of protecting the image and integrity of the 55th National Legislature. The motion to investigate the alleged fingering of the budget recommendation received additional support for further scrutiny by House leadership, including the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The investigation aims to clarify the circumstances surrounding the altercation to the budget recommendation and uphold the credibility of the legislative process in Liberia. The House of Representatives is committed to transparency and accountability in government proceedings to serve the best interests of the nation and its citizens. Meanwhile, Representative Ava Jones of Margibi County District 2 Representative proffered the motion with an amendment from Nimba County District 5 Representative Samuel Koga that the fingering allegations be investigated by the House leadership to include the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. With this being said, this is how we move over to the front page Africa newspaper. And what is the front page Africa newspaper reporting? Ministry of Transport denies issuing fake insurance documents. Ministry of Transport denies issuing fake insurance documents. Let's give you the content of this particular development. The Ministry of Transport and Liberia National Police have launched an investigation into reports linking some of its employees to the alleged falsification of insurance documents at the ministry. Currently, the ministry is enforcing the third-party liability insurance policy for tricyclists and motorcyclists. But there have been reports and complaints from motorcyclists that some employees at the ministry are engaged into the unwholesome habit of collecting their money and refusing to issue them insurance and registration documents. They have been accused of issuing fake insurance documents to motorcyclists and others. But addressing the news conference in Monrovia on Thursday, Transport Minister Rabel Tyler disclosed that the ministry does not have the statutory mandate to process insurance documents for commercial or private vehicles, tricycles, or motorbikes in the country. He noted that the allegations against some employees of the ministry have the propensity to tarnish the image of the institution, and as such, the ministry has launched an investigation, and those found culpable will be penalized in keeping with the laws of the country. He stressed that though employees of the ministry that are allegedly involved in the faking of issuance of documents have not been identified. Anyone who anyone found guilty will not go with impunity. I stand before you to address and clarify recent unfounded rumors and misinformation circulating about the Ministry of Transport involvement in the processing of insurance documents for commercial motorbikes. Let me be unequivocally clear: the Ministry of Transport is not and has not been in the business of processing insurance document for commercial motorbikes or any other vehicle. These baseless allegations undermine the integrity of the good men and women at the Ministry of Transport and the institution as a whole. According to him, only licensed insurance companies operating in the country are clothed with the authority to process insurance documents for vehicles and tricycles and motorbikes. Minister Tyler pointed out that as part of the effort to address the issues of falsification, the ministry has taken a decisive action by mandating all insurance companies operating in the country to recall their agents from within and around the facility of the ministry. According to him, the measure is intended to ensure that there is no confusion about the role and responsibility of the ministry. He pointed out that the ministry will work along with the Monrovia City Corporation through its mayor to give the surrounding of the ministry a clear facelift. We are not in fence, so we cannot control the public easement process across the street. But we can work with the city mayor to clean around our building to give taxpayer flexibility and freedom to come and do business with us, and we can offer better service delivery in that way. Minister Tyler disclosed that the insurance is a key requisite for the registration of the vehicle, and as such, vehicles owners should process the documents to any of the over duly registered and recognized insurance companies operating in the country instead of paying to those he called expediters or any unauthorized employees at the ministries. According to him, the ministry could no longer allow anyone to process their insurance document at its facility in Monrovia, adding that we will only verify when they sent to us. He maintained that authorities at the ministry will address and handle the issues involving the issuance of fake insurance internally, but cannot deal with what is happening on the street. He acknowledged that the public to avoid processing the insurance and registration document with friends in their communities or on the sidewalk. The Ministry of Transport does not and will not facilitate insurance processes. This remains the domain of licensed insurance company. Moreover, we are currently conducting a thorough investigation into the alleged involvement of certain ministry employees in illegal activity related to faking insurance document. If any employee is found guilty of such misconduct, they will face the full consequences as per the law that governs the civil service standing audit. He stated that public safety remains the primary goal of the ministry, and as such, processing documents fraudulently or bypassing the ministry to fake documents will not be tolerated. He, however, pledged the ministry commitment to upholding the highest standards of integrity and accountability. We stand we understand that the public concern and we are working diligently to resolve this matter. We ask for your patience and support as we navigate this challenging situation. Our primary goal is to ensure the safety, reliability, and transparency of all transport services in our jurisdictions. Speaking further, Minister Tyler said the ministry intends to have printed control over those who are applying for registration and driver license, the customer care delivery system to accommodate more clients, and as such, citizens and foreign residents should take the advantage of acquiring these documents at the ministry. The aftermath of fake insurance. Many owners and drivers of commercial private vehicles, tricycles, and motorcycles have faced with numerous problems ranging from arrest and prosecution, shouldering claims and liability accrued during accident and theft due to the issuance of fake insurance documents to them by unscrupulous individuals. Some of these individuals who consider themselves as expediter or employees of the ministry overly charge those seeking to obtain the registration and issuance document. They are normally seen before the premises of the Ministry of Transport, rushing to individuals coming to inquire about or pay for registration or insurance processes. A huge number of unrecognized and unidentified expeditors at the Ministry of Transport is due to the slow pace of the processing of the ministry driver license and other documents by relevant personnel at the ministry. The high rate of unemployment in the country is another contributing factor. Many expeditors see the ministry as a hustle ground. The consistent system is down or will come back scenario at the ministry continues to frustrate citizens and foreign residents who travel long distances to either process or receive their document at the ministry. The incorporations and improper identification of expediter to facilitate the smooth and timely processing of vehicle registration and driver licenses could serve as a win-win situation for all if the process is adequately managed by the Ministry of Transport. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the, 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 the front page African newspaper. Nigerian drug smugglers to stand trial as female drug peddler arrested. Nigerian drug smuggler to stand trial as female drug peddler arrested. So many interesting stories within the front page African newspaper as of today. The grand jury of Montserrat County has indicted and forwarded to criminal court several Nigerian drug smugglers who were arrested earlier this year by officers of the Drug Enforcement Agency. Defendant Josh Obi alias Original Japan, Peter Maman, Edwin Ziaku, Nibuzi Kongo, Sunday Dia, Igwe David, Shelley Sitam, Chana Igwe, Edwin Oziko, and Bridgeton Harris allegedly committed the crimes of unlicensed possession of controlled drug or substance, unlicensed possession, sales, and distribution of controlled substances, unlawful maintenance and distribution of a controlled drug or substance, a felony of the first degree. According to the indictment on Wednesday, February 21, 2024, at about 2:30 p.m., the defendants were arrested by the special team of LDA via a search and seizure warrant, investigated and subsequently charged with the commission of crimes of unlicensed sales, possession, trading, trafficking, and administration, dispensation, delivery, dispatch, in transit, and importation of controlled drug or substance and criminal conspiracy, respectively. The indictment further stated that the defendants, being in the knowledge of the harmfulness of these drugs to the growth and development of the Liberian society, especially among the youth, they joined in accord with criminal minds and intent to pollute Liberian youthful population, beginning to purposefully unknowingly, willfully, and intentionally transport, distribute, sell these drugs at the detriment of the Liberian society. The total value drug caught with the Nigerian drug trafficker during the commission of the crime is placed as, as 31,000 United States dollars, $625, or is equivalent to 6,736,000. There are 10 There are then the crimes of unlicensed sales, possession, trafficking, and distribution of controlled substance or drug. You definitively did do and commit these against the peace and dignity of the Republic of Liberia. The indictment stated a person commits an offense if he or she sells or offer for sale or trade, or administer, dispenses or deliver or give away to others, distribute or dispatch it in transit or transport any controlled drug and substances listed in the schedule, section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4, or acts as a broker in any such transaction without a license from the ministry, and no consignment of such drug or controlled substances while in transit being stored in a bonded warehouse shall be subject to any of the process which could change the nature of the drug in questions. So if you want to read this entire development, you can get yourself a copy of the front page African newspaper. I'm talking about today's edition, and you will definitely get yourself abreast with this particular development. So let's go over to the New Dawn newspaper, where we are receiving report that former President George Manuel Weah was again denied access to the VIP lounge at the Rabat International Airport. So let's read the content of the headlines from the New Dawn newspaper. We are denied VIP access again. Eugene Nangwe alleges. An anonymous protocol official at the airport told our reporter that the VIP lounge is under construction and not being used for passage. Liberia's former Maritime Commissioner, Mr. Eugene Nangwe, has alleged that former President George Weah has been denied access to the VIP lounge at the Rabat International Airport. As early as 7 a.m., we dispatched a team of EPS and protocol officers in preparation for our trip, but they have met the place all locked up, said Mr. Nangwe on Thursday, 6 June 2024. And immediately upon the former president arrival, we felt he had been denied because a communication was not sent 2 weeks ago, Mr. Nangwe argued. Meanwhile, an inquiry by the New Dawn newspaper covering former President Weah's departure at the airport gathered from a protocol officer at the airport that the VIP lounge was under renovation. The protocol officer, who did not want to be named, told our reporter that no passage was allowed at the VIP lounge due to the ongoing works, and that former President Weah and his team have been informed about the latest decision. However, another source at the VIP lounge who also asked for anonymity alleged that Mr. Weah was deliberately denied access to the lounge. Mr. Nangwe, a former information minister and now an advisor to Mr. Weah, told the media that the ex-president Weah was allegedly denied using the VIP lounge at the Rabat International Airport. According to him, before former President Weah departed for Ghana on Thursday, they had informed the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs concerning an invitation extended to him for a diplomatic meeting in Accra, Ghana. Nangwe explained that arrangements were made for a private jet, and the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs was notified about former President Weah's pending trip. Nangwe said protocol officers and members of the Executive Protection Service assigned to former President Weah were dispatched to the facility in preparation for the travel. However, he said that they met at both presidential lounges at the airport, which were locked despite prior arrangement made for the former president's travel. Nangwe asserted that in engagement with protocol officer, they were told to proceed at the ordinary terminal since they weren't entertained by any immigration officer to attend to the former president and his entourage. President Weah for a diplomatic meeting in Accra, Ghana with arrangement made for a private jet, he narrated. He added that they also sent a communication to the Ghanaian government upon their arrival. Mr. Nangwe asserted that former President Weah alleged denial of access to VIP lounge shouldn't be strange to the public. He accused President Joseph Dima Bwaka for allegedly refusing to speak to his predecessor since taking office. Nangwe asserted that despite Weah's concessions following his election defeat, President Bwaka has allegedly refrained from any direct communication or speech with his predecessor. As we dive into this, let us touch some other secondary issue. This shouldn't be strange. The former President Weah was denied. Was denied. President Bwaka cannot speak to Weah, Nangwe alleged. So with this being said, this is how we will sum up all of our news presentation today by bringing you the headlines of all of the stories we have read with regard to the stories from the print media on today. We are denied VIP access again. Eugene Nangwe alleges. So that statement is from Eugene Nangwe, former commissioner of the Maritime Associations in Liberia. And let's go over to the front page article. Nigerian drug smuggler to stand trial as female drug peddler arrested. So let's go over to another headline within the front page African newspaper. Ministry of Transport denies issuing fake insurance document. So let's move over to the Daily Observer newspaper. House investigate fingering of 2024 budget document. Lawmaker demands recall of national budget to address discrepancy. Let's go to the last headlines within the Daily Observer newspaper. Senators convene in Buchanan to tap new codes. Senate retreat to develop a good governance roadmap. So these are all of the headlines and all of the developments we have read to you for today with regard to the program inside the print media. So many thanks to all of you. Let's begin to acknowledge some of our followers who have been following this presentation this morning. We have Philip Hassan Robert following from District 10. Philip, we want to say thank you for always following Foca Online TV. Always encourage another person to always follow this particular program at this time, where we will bring you headlines from the various newspaper as well as the content. So many thanks to all of you who have been following this presentation. My name is K. Lyndon Choba, and I want to say bye bye. Do have yourself a blessed weekend.